All right, guys, welcome back once again to your favorite independent artist being meeting their place, and that is Big FM, where we celebrate music at its core. And you know what? Today I have a guest with me on hashtag the Blue Mic Show, who is someone who has a very beautiful voice. Obviously, you will be knowing about it because it's all about songs and it's all about music. But quite interestingly, she's one of those person who combines the worlds of Indian, that's Hindi, and American, and it creates a pop music. So who is she? Let's welcome her. So hello, G. Would you love to introduce yourself?
Hi Nisha, thank you so much. I'm Subhi, I'm a singer-songwriter. Like you mentioned, I write in both Hindi and English, and yeah, and I'm doing music, pop music.
A pop music, absolutely. So Sabine, the first important question: how did you really know that you had to become a pop musician? Like I would be writing someday. Where did this idea really cultivate from?
So I actually didn't know. I had three career changes before I realized I want to be an artist and I want to get into music. And of course, I'm still figuring out what I want to do within music. I was actually working on Wall Street. I quit my job. I was also an entertainment reporter, and then after that, I got into music. So it took me a bit to realize what I wanted to do.
But it is for sure that music was there into your soul. It was just waiting to be tapped on.
Yeah, it was always a side thing. I never thought of music as a professional career. It was always like, हाँ side में कर लो, like parents are like, yeah, keep doing your music on the side. It's like, I'm doing music classes and stuff, and that'll just keep going. But what's your main career? What's your goal? So that was always
Hmm.
how my thinking was for the longest time, and it took me a few years to realize like music is what gives me the most amount of happiness, and I'm genuinely passionate about it, and I'm like, that's just what I should do as a career. Like that is it.
Absolutely, that's true. But Sabine, you've been performing at the music festivals. How is that feeling for you? When you perform in front of live, in front of people, and they're just mesmerized by your songs and looking at you, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, it was amazing. I've been very grateful to have performed at some very amazing festivals. The South by Southwest, the TEDx, and I also did talks at Google, and that was like really amazing. So it's really cool when you perform and when people can relate to your songs. I feel that's the biggest reward. And when they come back to you later on and they're like, "Oh my God, I love this song, and it reminded me of this," and then you're like, "Okay, I'm going on the right path. I'm doing the right thing." If it's touching people in some way, then if I've made someone happy with my music, I think that makes my day.
Absolutely true. And hearing about how passionate about you are about your music. So can we have a song from you which is one of your favorites? And if you could just sing it for us, for our listeners also, that they come to know how beautifully you blend those songs and bring it out for us.
Yeah, I can sing a few lines. So I have this song called Better, which I recently created, and I'll just play a few lines of that song. You're like the heater on a cold day, the song I put on replay, the lyric that I need. My unspoken confession, the closest thing to heaven that I'll ever feel. I've seen so many eyes, but baby, I only ever get lost in yours. You're my compass, I know. Wherever I go, you always bring me home. You paint me better than the colors can. Read me like a book, baby, you understand. You love me better when I love me less. You know me better, you know me better than I know myself.
Wow, that was amazing. And perhaps if I'm not wrong, this is one of those songs which had reached up to the semi-finals also. And
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was among the unsigned only competitions of 2021. And if this would have been there as a winner, that would have been a eureka moment for you, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, it would have been amazing. It actually won. There's another a Universal Songwriting contest, and I was the Songwriter of the Month because it won that competition. And then it was also trending on Instagram for once it released, it was trending on Instagram for a little bit. So that was really amazing to see the song reach so many people.
Absolutely. But to be like, you've been creating up your own music now, and as you said, that the song was trending on Instagram. So you really feel that it is very important for now a budding artist and independent artist to release a song in such a manner that it can be actually hooked up to many people? Or is it okay that if you have a lyrical kind of a song which comes out so that it takes a time but it has its own way of journey to reach out to people? So is it important to actually emphasize about how the song would look? Or do you feel it's absolutely perfect? I just want to put it the way it's as simple as it could be. How do you
I
think about it?
so I think of course a lot of people are trying to get their songs on social media, and it has to look a certain way, it has to feel a certain way, it should sound a certain way. I think for me it's always been I want to be true to who I am as an artist, and that's always come first. So for me it's always like, okay, I'm going to put this song out there because I believe in it, and it's authentic to me, and I feel if it's authentic to me, it might take some time, but like you said, it'll have its own journey, and it'll find its own way. So that's the route that I like to go with, and I've just always believed in it that way.
So, if I had to ask you, who are the people who you look up as independent artists, that you really admire their work? Who are they?
I mean, I would say like, I really love Pratik Kohad. I've known him for a while, and I've known him even before he was, he was as big as he is today. And I think I love him as a person because he really believed in himself. He believed in his music, and I think he's a fantastic songwriter. And in terms of, there are so many like indie artists. Now that are doing like amazing music. If you're, I mean, I love Yellow Diary. I'm like obsessed with their music in general. They're amazing.
Absolutely. So, Subhi, what do you think, as working as an independent artist, what are certain things that you really need to keep in mind?
I mean, you have to be consistent. I feel you have to consistently release music so people can keep coming back and to you and listen to your music. I remember I had released so many English songs that I started getting Instagram messages. Where are the Hindi songs? When are they coming out? We want Hindi next. And I was like, oh God, like I hadn't released a Hindi song in like 2 years, and I was releasing lots of English. So I feel like as artists we need to constantly keep going back and seeing what our audience wants, what they want to hear, because we are writing for ourselves, but we also want them to hear what we write, right, to relate to it. And I also feel patience. It's a long journey, it's a marathon, so we just have to be patient, and I feel if you're just at it and you keep doing what you're doing with authenticity and with all your heart, then it will happen. It might take some time, but it will happen.
It will have. Absolutely. So, as you said, you really need to be consistent. So now we would really request you to sing one of another songs of yours for all our listeners so that we can actually say that, yes, Subhi is consistent in making us hear her favorite song.
Yeah, sure. This next one is called Define Me, and it's actually a song that I'd created when I was trying to figure out, like I'd mentioned, I started writing in Hindi, and then I started releasing in Hindi. I actually, the truth is, I started writing in English first, and then I started writing in Hindi. But when it came to releasing music, I was like, oh, I should release Hindi first. And then there was this phase when I was like, well, what do I do with my English songs? I should get them out. And so Define Me is really a song about trying to figure out who I am and what do I really want to do with myself as an artist. And if this is a defining moment for me, getting my both my sides out. So
All
here it
right.
is. Satin skies falling on my dreams, rolling stones won't stay calm, chasing thoughts stealing all my sleep, and my mind's going numb. I feel it, my body's floating on the edge of time. I'm stuck in a world of disguise, and who I am, I'm trying to define. And we unborn with all the truth inside us, and all the love that we will ever own. My skin won't let me be me. So if I'm going wrong, I'm gonna learn. And we unborn with all the truth
Amazing. Another, in fact, beautiful number by you, Subhi. And I tell you now, I'm going to be checking up and wanting to hear more of your songs from now. And
So
I'm saying
sweet.
that so.
Thank you.
But as you've been singing some beautiful songs, we have someone with us also who comes down from Shillong, and he loves to actually hear all kind of music as a beautiful artist himself. But he's someone who loves to play countryside music. So we have with us Neil. So Neil, can we have you with us? He's a budding artist, and I'm sure he has some beautiful music which he really has to share, and even the journey so far. So hi Neil, welcome to hashtag the Blue Vibe show here.
Hi
Hi
Nisha.
Neil.
Hi Subhi. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Neil. So, Neil, tell us something about yourself. What kind of music you love playing, and what was the music which really fascinated you? Because as knowing you and knowing some things about you, you loved hearing all kind of musics, right, from the metal, from the pop, and everything. And now a love for countryside music. How?
so, I'm Neil. I am from Shillong, Meghalaya. I grew up in a family of musicians. My dad was a former guitarist of a gospel band. My uncles still play in a band, and so I grew up with a lot of music, rock, pop, metal, and even country music. And my uncles play country music, and that's where it really got into me. I never really used to like country back then when I was younger, but when I really started digging deep into it, I found it very interesting because of the story that it tells. Um,
Mhm.
that's how I got into country music, and I've been doing it ever since I fell in love with
I
it.
remember. Absolutely. So, Neil, could you play any one of your songs for us, so that we can hear to the lovely countryside music that you have been enjoying for all our listeners so that we can actually even enjoy the same?
Sure thing, sure. This is a song that I released sometime last year, and it's called Pretty Blue Eyes. Well, I made a couple calls, gotta pick up my girl. Take some time, take a sip, take a long crazy trip with her. Drive a few hundred miles with her sitting by my side. Roll the windows down, sunshine lighting up a pretty blue eyes. Baby, won't you let your hair fall down while the wind blows? Kiss me on my lips and take it real slow. You know I just can't help it when you give me that smile. Baby, won't you sing along to the song on the radio? I wanna hear that soft, sweet angel voice. Everything about you, girl, is making my heart smile. And your pretty blue eyes. Thank you.
Wow, wow. And I must say, Neil, I do not have pretty blue eyes. I have a pretty brown eyes, but I am flattered by the music you've actually played for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Shubhi, what do you have to say about Neil's music?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm actually surprised. I didn't know there are country artists in India. I mean, that's really really cool. And of course, you played beautifully. It was very nice.
Thank you so
Very
much.
nice, crisp sounding voice. So very, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed listening to you. Yeah, so that's really amazing. Can you tell a little bit more about how or why country music? I'm just curious.
Like I said, it's the storytelling that got me. Every country song is mostly about stories about love, life, heartbreak, and whenever I listen to a song, the lyrics are what I listen to the most, more than the music. So that's why country music, because the lyrics mean a lot.
So, Neil,
Nice.
any kind of a question which comes up into your mind and you want to ask that to Subhi, what would that be?
Um, what? How? I mean, I, what was the first inspiration that got you uh, into music?
So the first inspiration would be my grandfather. He was big into poetry, so he would read a lot of Urdu poetry to me. When he would recite Urdu poetry, and then he would start explaining the meanings. And Ghalib and Faiz, they're all very deep poets, and their writings are very deep, like read between the lines kind of a thing. So that really got me very interested in poetry in general, in poems, and eventually in lyrics. And I would say that's really how the process of getting into music happened for me. And this was like, I must be like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, and I would recite some of those poems that my grandfather would teach me, because he'd tell me what it would mean, and I found them so beautiful. And slowly I started getting more interested in lyrics, and that's really how the love for music started.
Oh, that's great.
Wow. Sunil, any other question you had in mind that you want to ask Subhi?
What do you do whenever you find someone that criticizes you in a negative way? Like, how do you deal with that?
So I, I think in general I am I I ask a lot of my close friends and family when I write a song to tell me honestly what they feel about it. And I take criticism very seriously. I feel as an artist I'm not perfect, and I'm always trying to perfect my craft. And so when someone gives tells me something that they feel I should look into, I genuinely like give it a thought, especially when it comes to songwriting, because I take my songwriting very seriously. So I really give it a thought. Okay, well, if this is what they're saying, then I will go back and revisit my song and see what I can do to improve it.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you react to it? I'm curious.
Uh, it depends, you know. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't, and most of the time I don't. So, I mean,
Oh,
it works. Sometimes it works out, but sometimes, I
Yeah, I think, like, of course you have to also give heed to who is criticizing you. Is it someone who's important? And in my case, it would mostly be friends and family, and their opinions are very important to me. Of course, if I'm performing at a show and they're like random people who are criticizing you, then you have to kind of really put that into account. Like, is that something that you want to consider or not? But yeah, it's just always good to get people's opinions, and then of course it's up to you how you want to gauge them and use them.
yeah.
thank you
Nice
so much,
meeting
Neil,
you,
for joining
Neil.
with us. It was pleasure knowing you, and you definitely have a beautiful voice. It really touches the heart instantly.
Thank you so much.
It's
Today,
interesting you
there's
mentioned
no
that.
holding you back to sing the song for us also.
Yeah, this next one is called "Wake Me Up." Gold crumbled in paper, left on a sidewalk as I find my way home. Hope, a word with no color, a street with no number. Will I find my throne? I'm getting sick of these conversations, for there's so much I wanna know. So what's my freaking reputation? Should I just care or let it go? Oh, oh, wake me up, wake me up, wake me now. Pull me up from the dark, wake me up, wake me up, wake me now. Wake me up, wake me up, wake me now. Pull me up from the dark, wake me up, wake me up, wake me now. Wake me up, 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 wake me now.
Wow, that was too deep, in fact, Subhi. It hits hard.
Yeah,
We have
I
situations in life where you could so relate to it.
yeah, I would say it's my darkest song. It's also one of my
Well,
favorite songs because I feel it, like you said, it hits you hard.
yes,
It makes you think of certain moments. So it's very deep for me as well.
absolutely. There is something which, which I've been noticing up into your writing while you're singing is like every word what you write is actually very relatable. You know, you don't have to go very deep into thinking about what is the song all about or why is this kind of a lyrics to it. Anytime any of your song, which I mean even hearing right now, it's like you're just talking to us. And simple things are the most complex things to write. You cannot always be simple and you can always write out your feelings. How did you actually have this finish and art inside you? Like, you know, how did you expertise in this? Because this is not an easy task.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you can relate to the songs. Thank you. It means a lot. I think like when I write my songs, I really dive into a part of me which is very vulnerable. I have to go into the deepest, darkest corners of my heart and really try to put my work out. I remember I had met Ankur Tiwari in Mumbai, and this is years ago, and he had told me that, don't write songs that you really feel, don't write songs that you want people to hear, write songs that you want to write. And I think that really hit me. It was like, yeah, it should be about me. If I'm writing a song, then I should write about what I'm feeling. And if what I'm feeling is true to me, then there must be someone out there who'll feel the same. And of course, it's very hard to write about your own emotions, because you're pretty much putting
Mhm.
your heart out there. Of course, everyone relates to a song very differently, and my lyrics, I feel, they also have a bit of an abstractness to them. So like you said, you can relate to it because they're not extremely detailed. There is always room to interpret them differently, and there's a lot of read between the lines in my lyrics, which I feel help someone else relate to it differently. So I really put in a lot of time and effort in the lyrics, and it's, yeah, writing the lyrics, I feel, is the hardest part of songwriting for me. Melodies come much easily, but like you said, just getting those words, the simplest things. How do you put the simplest things in that melody? I feel that is really the hardest thing to do.
And one thing that you think that you're going to be telling people to learn if they do mistakes, what should they do? Is
Oh, I think making mistakes is a great way to learn. I'm grateful for the mistakes I make, because then it makes me realize, oh, I need to work on this, and I need to work on this. So I think when you make mistakes, it's a good thing you've made that mistake, because now you know. And I think it's just use that as a way to strengthen yourself and strengthen your skills, both technical or whatever it is. I look at making mistakes as a positive thing. It just reminds me that I'm not perfect, and I still have to work really hard to get to where I have to get. And I feel it's okay if you make a mistake. Just take it with pride, and move on, and uh, just remember what you did, and practice on it. So yeah.
a best piece of advice Subhi, you ever got that you feel that you can share it with all our listeners would be?
I would say be yourself, be authentic, and if you are true to who you are, then people will resonate with your music. Uh, and Also, don't make music to be popular. Make music because you want to make music. That's important.
Wow. All right. And one last thing that we would like to ask you is like, you know, when we say this key, this is a station which has a beautiful tagline that says, "Dhun badal ke to dekho." So a moment which really turned all the things into your life. One specific moment which was very beautiful, and you feel that if you could relive it that once again, you would definitely do so.
I would say getting married. If you're talking about just life in general, for me that was a turning point. Do you mean musically, or you meant personally,
Anyway,
or
now
doesn't matter? Okay, yeah, I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
in general, it was getting married, and of course, the other thing which I feel has been a turning moment for me is music, and I'm grateful that I tried a lot of different professions to get to here, because no regrets. I'm glad that I tried a couple of different things and I landed here, and now I'm here, and I'm in music, and I'm here to stay. So I would say those two things were big turning moments in my life.
Absolutely true. So thank you so much, Subhi, for actually sharing up your beautiful journey. It was amazing knowing you. And I am going to be really looking forward to more of your songs because they are really beautiful. And as I said, every word touches you
So
instantly.
sweet. Thank you. Means a
Thank
lot,
you
really
so
means a lot.
absolutely. And it's a very honest feedback I'm telling you. So it really means, you have a beautiful voice and the way you've been writing it up, that perhaps really touches up instantly. Any person who's a bit emotional can relate to every beat of it.
So sweet. Thank you. It really, I really feel like comments like these make my day. So thank you for making my day. That's very, very kind. And thank you for having me on this show. I'm so grateful. And it's really wonderful to meet you on the show. And I'm glad that I got to meet Neil and hear his beautiful music as well.